I've never seen a diamond in the flesh. I cut my teeth on wedding rings in the movies, and I'm not proud of my address. In the torn up town, no postcode envy, but every song's like gold teeth, grey goose, tripping in the bathroom, bloodstains, ball gowns, trash in the hotel room. We don't care. We're driving Cadillacs in our dreams, but everybody's like crystal, Maybach, diamonds on your timepiece, jet planes, islands, tigers on a gold leash. We don't care. We aren't caught up in your love affair. We'll forever be royal. It just runs in our blood. That kind of lux is made for us. We crave a different kind of buzz. Let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, and baby I'll rule. I'll rule, I'll rule, I'll rule. Let me live that fantasy. My friends and I, we've cracked the code. We count our dollars on the train to the party, and everyone who knows us knows that we're fine with this. We didn't come from money, but every song's like gold teeth, grey goose, tripping in the bathroom, bloodstains, ball gowns, trash in the hotel room. We don't care. We're driving Cadillacs in our dreams, but everybody's like crystal, Maybach, diamonds on your timepiece, jet planes, islands, tigers on your gold leash. We don't care. We aren't caught up in your love affair. We'll forever be royal. It just runs in our blood. The kind of lux is made for us. We crave a different kind of buzz. Let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, and baby I'll rule. I'll rule, I'll rule, I'll rule. Let me live that fantasy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're bigger than we ever dreamed, and I'm in love with being queen. Oh, whoa, whoa. Life is great without a care. We aren't caught up in your love affair. We'll forever be a royal. It just runs in our blood. That kind of lux is made for us. We crave a different kind of buzz. Let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, and baby I'll rule. I'll rule, I'll rule, I'll rule. Let me live that fantasy.
Welcome. Give yourself a moment to come into a comfortable position. Give yourself permission to move and change, and bring your body into exactly the placement it calls for, where you are free to wander your attention all throughout the heart of the universe within you. The heart of your loving, the heart of your being, the heart of your divinity. This place in the heart where all of your desires are held, nurtured, and loved into being. This place in the heart where love is unbound, limitless, free, and at the same time wrapped up in the tenderest embrace of the divine. This place in the heart where you are safe and warm and brave. courageous, where love conquers all, where love overcomes every fear, melts every obstacle, and turns every block into a stepping stone on the path of remembering love's divine home. The home in the heart where love reigns, where love is true and everlasting, where faith is effortless and unshakable. Dwell in the center of this gorgeous heart and feel for the whispers that guide you into an ever deepening knowing, learning, and discovering of who you truly are. An ever deepening wonderment at what unconditional love truly is. What true love feels like. What divine love calls forth in you, inspires in you, and requires of you. What is love whispering to you? What divine desire is calling for your attention? Let this desire play out in your heart. Nurture it with love and tender care. Give it the space in your heart to blossom into any greater desire it wishes to become. Allow your desires to flourish in your heart. Your desires are safe in the universe of the heart. Engage with the essential feeling of your desire to carry it with you as you begin the transition of bringing your attention to your external world, taking all the time you need. When you are ready, feel free to move, stretch, or adjust in any way you wish. Thank you for the gift of your loving attention and presence. May you forever be blessed with the heart of divine love.
Welcome to this week's Sunday service. We're Adam and Brianne, Twin Flames in Harmonious Union, and we'll be providing your card reading for this week.
Yeah. So today we pulled from the Angels of Abundance deck by Doreen Virtue and
Grant Virtue.
Grant Virtue. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first card that came out is Face Your Financial Fears. And it says, when you are honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you in fact have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's basically, this card is communicating, when we face our fears, you know, namely speaking to like foundational fears or financial fears, when you allow yourself to go there, you realize that there's actually nothing to fear at all. And it was just the fear itself. And the fear can keep you trapped and make you feel stuck. But when you look at it and you give it attention, it dissolves because it's an illusion. It's not real. I know that this is something that Adam and I have moved through a lot, especially when we were coming together and bringing our financial and our foundation together. There was a fear of like not wanting to look at it, thinking that if we looked at it, it would make it real, like make the illusion of it real. But we found that when we looked at it and we just faced the fear and the uncomfortable feelings around the finances and the foundation, and bringing attention to it, bringing light to it, it actually dissolved. And we were able to bring love. Love is where you build a stable and eternal foundation. And so in having love and peace in that space, we were able to heal our financial foundation and abundance. We created abundance and continue to grow and expand in abundance.
Yeah, and like these fears and worries is a leak of energy, right? Because they're there, like consciously and subconsciously, just swirling around. So yeah, like if you don't look at it, it's still going to be there, and it's still going to leak away your energy to that. So
yeah, because your energy is always going somewhere. And even if you think, well, I'm not going to look at it, so then I won't give it energy or attention to it. Well, the energy's still there. It's being held there. It's festering in your consciousness. So know that it's safe to go there, and you'll be pleasantly surprised to realize, oh, it's just an illusion, and I'm safe, and bring love to that place. Yeah, and the next card that we have is Gratitude List. And it says, counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. What and who are you grateful for right now? Keep focusing upon gratitude and you'll discover the amazing generosity of the universe. Gratitude is Adam's favorite.
It's my favorite.
Gratitude list.
Yeah, this is like how I kind of started my roller coaster spiritual awakening with reading The Secret. Probably most of you know. And I think there's an exercise in one of the books, like write like 100 things down that you're grateful for. And I'm like, how do you 100 things? But it's so like when you get into it, right? Like there's so many things to be grateful for. So it's easy. And that, gratitude brings you all the good things.
Yeah, and that's speaking to the energy that we were communicating before as well, is like when you're taking your energy back from the fears of, and your finances or your foundation, and you're focusing on the things that you're grateful for in your life, you manifest more of that. What is that saying? Like where energy flows, energy grows, right? So flow your energy towards the things that you do want and focus on that instead of focusing on the things that you don't want, or allowing it just to kind of hide out in your mind. Because it's not really hiding, it's there. It's a gremlin in your consciousness that's just sitting there. Yeah,
it's like picturing like rats running around there in your consciousness.
I know, right? And you're like, don't look at it, but you want to look at it.
Yeah,
good. And then the next card we have is Sever Vows of Poverty. Here we go. Show the card. This is a beautiful card.
It's like raising from ashes, almost like like the phoenix or something.
There you go.
That reminds me of that. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It says, Dear one, there's no need to suffer or sacrifice. Hold the intention of undoing any vows of poverty or self-denial that you may have made consciously or unconsciously in any lifetime. As you do so, all effects of these vows will be undone for everyone involved in all directions of time. Yeah, so there's, just the card says it all. Whether we've made conscious or unconscious vows of poverty in this lifetime or previous lifetimes, you can make a choice in your heart now and, sever that vow of poverty by choosing to have a vow of abundance. Choose and claim your vow of abundance, and that choice in itself is so powerful. It automatically brings all of that love back to you, and you start creating, mending and healing any vows of poverty that you may have had before. You immediately start mending those in your consciousness and bringing abundance and wealth and expansion into those places.
Yeah, I feel like, going back to the second card, gratitude, it's kind of like that's very healing in a sense for like, when you're severing and healing the poverty blocks as well, and yeah, like we have everything we need right in this moment.
Yeah, like these cards were, they flowed perfectly together. They're all perfectly intertwined because, yeah, when you're facing your financial fears, any fear for that matter, you're going to that place and you're giving it love, which is severing that vow of poverty. And anything in your consciousness that is in a state of separation is poverty, right? So, just going there and loving yourself, and there's your abundance manifested. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday service.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Danny.
And I'm Christina, and welcome to today's Church of Union service. We are introducing Jose Michaela's sermon on abundance.
Yep, juicy.
Yeah, we really love this sermon a lot, and I think it's really like relative to what we're working through right now, in enjoying love within and enjoying joy within, and how that is the true source of your abundance. And this is what Jose and Michaela really touch upon, is the true source of your wealth, which is God, but it's also based on like the inner wealth that you've cultivated with God, your relationship with God. And I think it's a really refreshing way to think about abundance because, in society, you're used to having to take from yourself or like sacrifice yourself in order to be wealthy or have strong finances. But in the Unionism path, that's not the case at all. It's kind of the opposite. You focus more on your inner life, and your finances and your wealth flows as a result.
Yep. Yeah, and I really love how they, shared about their journey of building their abundance within and what they had to go through to, come to this deep place of like wisdom about abundance and where it comes from and how to grow it. Like what they chose to do to clear their abundance blocks is like really brave, in my opinion. I really connected a lot with their story in that. And yeah, it's just really, really powerful to know that all of your abundance comes from inside of you, and it is the love that you cultivate within yourself. And it's the level of giving and service that you are capable of doing while not imbalancing yourself. And that is how you grow your abundance, is by giving and by being of service. And in order for that to naturally happen, you must give to yourself, and you must love yourself and serve yourself. And your abundance grows naturally as a result. So ultimately, abundance, comes from self-love.
Yeah.
And that's the the main key. That's the main point that they talk about, is that like invest in yourself, love yourself, and that is what grows your abundance.
Yeah, and it's cool because Jose and Michaela really share how everything we need is in the teaching. Like everything we need to grow our abundance, to grow our finances, it's based on self-love. And TFAS and LPC teach you how to love yourself. LPC specifically in your finances. And how like we have all the pieces there and how the work works. And what I especially like that they shared was like, if you heal twin flame separation, you can heal your finances. And I don't want to give away like their stories and like their miracles, but like the way that they share how the work miraculously changed their lives and their finances is very inspiring, and reminded me too of like the Money Mastery YouTube video, like the workshop that Michaela did with Jeff, how like that affected and impacted her life, and how it worked for her life, and how that also worked for me, because I remember I watched that workshop and I was trying to claim I think both life purpose class and TFAS at the time. And I remember I watched that video and I like took it seriously, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna make all these changes. Like, I'm gonna do it. And I think like literally the next day, I got a check in the mail for like $1,000, and I was like, oh heck yes! Like, I like we did it, right? Like God gave me the money that I needed to get TFAS and LPC. And so yeah, like just miracles like that happen from this work and from choosing to love yourself are real. And I think it's just a really nice reminder to receive sometimes, and reassurance when you're just grinding at it and maybe not seeing a change in your external reality, knowing that you are cultivating and building your inner wealth, which will result in monetary money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. And it's also really relieving as well to build abundance in this way, because it's eternal. Right. Like, I feel like one of the most unsatisfying things about the world that we're taught is the way that, you're taught to get money and to get wealth, because it requires an enormous amount of like your energy, and it's not sustainable either. Gotta maintain it. It's the way that we're taught of how abundance works in the world doesn't work. It breeds misery, I feel like. So, and I mean, it's true. It does breed misery. So
good thing we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just really nice to like really compare the world to what is like possible. And with this work, you can create your heaven on earth. It's possible to create a completely abundant life that feels good, doesn't breed any misery, completely happy, and full of life, and sustainable, and it's eternal, and you cultivate it from within, and feels really good. So
without any further ado, Jose and Michaela's sermon on abundance.
Hi everyone, I'm Jose.
I am Michaela, and we are twin flames in harmonious union, and today we are here to provide this week's Sunday sermon.
Yeah, so before we start, we can start with the opening ohms and the opening prayer. You can ohm loud or in your mind. the opening prayer. I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word.
Today I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, Amen.
Good. So welcome back.
Yeah.
Other week. In today's Sunday service, we are going to talk about abundance.
Yeah, abundance. From the perspective of Unionism, and we also want to talk about how to overcome poverty within yourself, which is something that, as Unionists, we're all very driven towards, is overcoming poverty and achieving true wealth, which is actually something spiritual, and it's something that Jeff and Shalea's teachings really kind of like drives home. Is that abundance is really important. You know, wealth is really important to you as a child of God. And this is a very like different type of spiritual path than traditional spiritual paths, which, you know, usually require you to have to take a vow of poverty, you know, and release all material attachments and just like, you know, leave your body. So what I love about this ascension path, you know, the path of unionism, the path of twin flames, and that I find is very cool and new and fresh, is that it's about finding God within and grounding that on the physical on earth, which includes having a very divine and godly relationship with your finances.
Yeah, it's not about inner abundance, it's not about external. And I remember once Jeff described this to us, like your external reality is only like a representation of your inner wealth, of your inner relationship with God. And that is why this path, this teaching, encourages you to heal in this area. Because it's very important to create something on earth. It's something that you cannot avoid.
Yeah.
And if you do it right, it's very easy, it's very joyful to achieve. It's very,
and it feels good.
Yeah, it feels good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, you can be supported doing your life purpose. And this is what we want to speak about, one of the things.
Yeah, it's finding like wealth in your life purpose with God.
Yeah, because that is the way to be really wealthy, really like abundant. It's living your life purpose, because it's the thing that is going to drive you, it's the thing that is going to make you grow, make you happy, and you're going to do it effortlessly.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
And you'll always be supported doing it. So that's kind of like the topic today, is if you are genuinely doing this work and you're doing the mirror exercise, you're doing your inner work, you're deepening your relationship with the teachings, you know, volunteering, you're going to be healing your wealth vibration, you know, and like Jeff and Shaleia have talked about in previous sermons. There's a couple of sermons. There's like the one about healing poverty. I don't know, there's several sermons where Jeff talks about how inappropriate it is for a child of God to be in poverty. Like how unacceptable poverty is as a child of God. And that's been something that I have definitely been working. You know, we definitely have learned within ourselves, and we're always healing this, and everyone is. But Jeff defined poverty as either stemming from like not loving, like refusing to give or trying to take. And he said essentially they're the same thing. But yeah, healing your abundance and your wealth is the opposite of that. It's giving abundantly of yourself, you know.
Yeah, and this is something very related to the last Sunday service about service.
Yeah,
it's like something that we have learned by being in this community for a while and by doing out of volunteer work, is that your inner abundance grows when you are giving, when you are serving, and your energy levels also grow a lot, and you can do a lot more. You can be more present in what you do. Your work is so much better, and this is that inner wealth that you are cultivating, and that is one beautiful thing about this path is that you can cultivate that. Today, for example, I was looking back at some tasks that I was doing in my past, some university work and stuff, and in that moment it was challenging for me, it was difficult, and I realize now that after all of this spiritual work, after this teaching and after volunteering and engaging with other members, now all of the same work that was very challenging to me will be a walk in the park, so easy. And the work is the same, but the inner resources that I have are so much different. They are so much more abundant. They make me really get things done in a completely different way.
Yeah, it's like strengthening you. Like your spiritual muscles are much stronger now.
Exactly.
And that's true. Like the more that you serve God, the more energy God is going to give you.
Because
to serve Him. Because
He likes the investment that you're making.
And if you're really having fun with the service to God that you're doing, like He's going to give you more energy, because that's something Jeff has talked about in classes. Life purpose class. I don't remember exactly which one. I saw it a while back. But he said that God is not going to give you more energy if you're not having fun. Like if you're just working and serving and doing stuff out of obligation or out of fear or forcing yourself to do it, like God's not actually going to fill your inner cup up with more and more energy, because like God wants you to have fun, and He wants your work to be fun for you.
Yeah, that's why when you are living your life purpose and you are having fun, you are serving out of love and not out of obligation or whatever other reason, you get filled inside, and that requires effort. It's not like you do it and that's it. It requires effort. It requires your inner work, your presence, your persistence, and it's something that grows with time. I remember. When I started in the community, my first volunteer position.
Sunday service editor.
The Sunday service editing. My first time, I was like, oh my God, this is too much. And I was like, my first time doing it, it was a very straightforward task. But I didn't realize that the important aspect is the spiritual work. And that's why I was having so much trouble at the beginning. Because I have never interacted with this type of system where inner is first. Normally the programming is you get things done as much as you can and you are more productive that way. But in this community and by the teaching of Jeff and Shaleia, I have learned that no, inner comes first, and from that place of peace and love and fulfillment inside, you can create. You can really give to something. And that's what I would say is the main lesson about this volunteer position that I had for a while, for a long time actually.
Until just recently.
Recently.
Maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And it makes you grow. It makes you really grow your bank of energy. And your inner bank is I'm so grateful for it. And that energy that you grow, you can invest it in whatever God is asking you to do. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yep. Yeah, that's very true. This this teaching teaches you how kind of opposite of what society teaches you, that your wealth comes from doing, but it really comes from the love that you have within your heart and from loving. And the more that that's why it's so important to find out what your purpose is, find out what you're passionate about. Find out how you like to love God, and realize ultimately wealth comes from loving God, and loving God is what fills you up inside. And so you are going to be totally supported in whatever it is that you love to do, because it's loving God, and God will support that. And so it's there's a Jeff and Shaleia quote that is wealth is not how much, I'm paraphrasing, but it's
how much money you have.
It's not how much money you have, it's how much love you enjoy within. And so this, it's important to, when you're cultivating wealth, to really nurture yourself and really support yourself properly emotionally, which means staying on top of your inner work, and giving yourself all the support that you need your healing and in your life and your environment and your even, you know, your self-care, like all of that's so important to cultivating real wealth. Yeah, and yeah,
and it's an investment that you can make is in yourself. And this is something that Jeff speaks about in LPC, that you are the best pipeline that you can invest. It's not your job, it's not anything, it's you. And if you are constantly investing in you and in growing and in doing your healing, naturally everything will improve in your life. Like your union is the core, it's like the generator. And once you invest in that and you have like love there, everything in your life naturally grows and is so much better. And with wealth and with abundance and with money, it happens the same. The more love that you enjoy within, the easier it is to grow in your life. The more service and the more love you have for service, the more you are going to grow and the more you are going to receive in any way that God is giving you in that moment. Maybe it's not money, maybe it's a lesson, maybe it's your spiritual growth. It can be a lot of things.
Yeah, your wealth is not just financial.
Yeah, it's not only finance.
And your union, and your relationships. But I think like one of the main points we want to make here is how easy it can be to cultivate like wealth for yourself and like to pull yourself out of that the poverty feeling. Because I know, like I remember, I always think about this like when I was at my old job, and everyone has seen that, you know, the money mastery workshop. Everyone saw where I was, and I just remember like emotionally how I felt back then, and that is how what I would use to describe poverty is like just emotionally. I just felt so drained by that job. I didn't have anything to give. Like I was so grumpy all the time. like people annoyed me, and I just felt grumpy, and I just felt like I couldn't give. I felt very squeezed all the time. Like it's like this feeling of poverty, you know, like this constriction in your heart. And this work has allowed me to fill that space up inside, you know, and like love myself there, and just realize like having a healthy relationship with service is so important, because I think the way that we're programmed to operate is like that service or working, you know, service and working, they're different in the world, but that it takes from you, like that you have to like bleed for whatever it is you're doing, and you have to like exchange your life force and your energy in order to receive a very small paycheck. And it's just like it's like a cycle of hell. And it's not nice, and that's not the way God created it. You're meant to give abundantly. Like your work is not supposed to take from you. You're not supposed to feel grumpy all the time. You're not supposed to dread getting up in the morning. Like I remember that I had to get up at 5 a.m. every morning, and I remember I just woke up feeling bad all the time, and I don't have that anymore. Now that we're living our purpose, I wake up feeling like ready to go, and I feel passionate about our life and what we're doing and our community. Like it's something that really matters, and that's something that's always been really important to me, is like serving a bigger purpose. Like the biggest purpose to me is this movement is the biggest purpose that I could ever like hope to align myself with. And that's the key to abundance and wealth, is like just committing to something and just loving it, and just saying like I don't care about anything else. This is something Jess says in a life purpose class. Like you just have to like say, this is what I care about, and you just love it. You know, you just care about it, and you don't distract yourself with anything else. And you just commit to it, and don't be afraid to like take risks. You know, like it's safe to really let go. Like poverty is just like a system of thinking. You know.
Yeah, it's an inner vibration that you can change, and it's okay if you're moving through it. Everyone is healing in this space, you know. Like everyone in their journey heals in this space.
Yeah, everyone's healing it.
Yeah, you are on the way to freedom.
Yeah.
Like when you are serving and when you are really doing what you love, and yeah, you are free. Like you are not constricted.
Yeah. Like what I was gonna say is like you have to like what we've realized is like you have to shift your mindset from like poverty to wealth. And what I mean by that is like, for example, we've been learning over the past year how to take leaps of faith with our money and how to not, you know, I come from a family that was like, oh no, you don't spend extra money. You never spend extra money. You don't invest in yourself. Like that's meaningless and silly. Like you have to save.
That's a waste.
You have to pay your bills. Yeah, it's waste to like invest in your joy. But we found that that's not true at all. And that's not what Jeff and Shaleia teach. You know, your joy, like you are your best investment. And so like part of your wealth is investing in yourself now. And
it's a long-term investment sometimes.
Yeah.
It takes time to grow it and time to, get to that point that you really want to be. And we were talking about this, and Jeff speaks about this in classes too. If God is giving you money for something, you use it for that something. It's important that you respect.
And that's how you grow your wealth.
That is how you grow your wealth. Investing in that way that God is directing you to.
Like for example, Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose class. Like when I was at my old job, I was spending 90%, no, pretty much 100% of my paycheck on this teaching and like my car payment to get me to work. That was it. You know, and some months I would literally come over negative just because like I made sure I wasn't gonna miss any payments. But yeah, like all of those lessons that I learned were necessary. I had to feel all those feelings. I had to learn all those lessons. I had to go through that experience, and so that I could be where I am now. And all of that investment that I made into myself for years is totally paying off now. Like, you know, like when you, especially like in our purpose, like we've started taking off with our purpose work, and that's only because of the deep investment that I had made into myself and we made into ourselves. And like what we've learned also over the past year is that it's safe to take leaps of faith. Like for example, 1 year ago, we had just moved into our current apartment, which we're on our way to moving out of now. But I'm not saying this is like the best way that everyone should live, but like it was our experience. Like we were in an Airbnb for a month just to get out of Jose's family's house during quarantine, which is like its own set of challenges. But like we had 3 days to go, you know, left in this Airbnb and we hadn't found a place. And we were still like a little short on the money. And it was 3 days to go when we finally found this place. But like we just took that leap of faith. We just dove into an Airbnb in another city and like we're gonna make it work. I don't know how, like, you know, I didn't even have any paperwork to be in Spain. Like our business was like not registered. We couldn't prove income, but we were like, you know what? We're gonna figure it out. And we did, you know, we figured it out.
We asked God for the money, like we want to move. God gave us the money.
We used it. We didn't even know if we could pay the next month's rent.
We were like very tight.
Every single month was like, oh my God, are we gonna be able to pay rent? But we just worked for it, you know, like we worked really hard. We put every waking hour into like living our purpose work and supporting ourselves. And as we did that, like we just put that level of commitment and love into our business and into our life purpose and all that, you know, like we were very supported. And because I feel like because we took such a leap of faith and we put all of our cards onto the, you know, or what is the expression, like all of our
eggs in one basket.
Yeah, all of our eggs in one basket, and we just hoped, you know, in God, And so because we had that level of like faith and we were not willing to listen to that voice of poverty that keeps you from taking risks and taking the next step, and we just worked really hard and we really like loved ourselves in that space, and our income and our abundance and our inner peace, like it all started to multiply, and it's only been in an upward trend since. And like I guess what we wanted to talk about in this sermon is like we want to share that, you know, that feeling of like growing in your wealth and like trusting God and like
following God. This is not about making some illogical move or something. We were very like it was very next move. It was like this is it, take it. And we took it, and here we are now, and we have grown a lot in this place.
We have grown so much in the past year, especially financially. Like both of us come from not the most wealthy families. When I was younger, my parents were pretty wealthy, but that was, you know, a while ago. So I think we both, like, we were making more money.
We have never experienced this level before.
No, this level of abundance, and it's because of these teachings and because of everything that Jeff says in Life Purpose class, everything that he taught in the Money Mastery Workshop, like all of those things we've just continued to apply. in our lives. That's it. We just continue to apply Jeff and Shaleia's guidance to our life, you know, and there were some very scary situations, you know, like very scary leaps of faith that we went into, but it always worked out very well. And like, yeah, like the answer is not to like do scary things and like put yourself in situations, but like that was where we were at. It is like listening to God and applying the principles of this teaching into your own life and watching how you grow and thrive. And like you genuinely, we felt through all of our very uncomfortable feelings about poverty for a very long time, especially like in the Airbnb, you know, like feeling like we didn't have a true home. And I had to feel through all of those things and bring love into those spaces, and that builds like your inner foundation.
By following God only. And it's sometimes there is, you know, there are challenges to move through. Like there is fear, there is this voice of like, I'm not going to make it, you know. Don't try, don't trust.
That's the voice of ego.
God is not going to support you here, but if God is guiding you somewhere, He's going to support you. And that's why it's important to trust God and also to have patience with what God is showing you to do. Because sometimes it's not like instant, you know, like God, I want to get out, boom, and it happened. No, it's a process. God is going to maybe tell you to do this thing, and you do that thing, and you don't know how it's going to work out. But it's about having patience too. And I want to share my experience about joining TIFAS. It's a very good one.
Good example.
When I joined TIFAS, I didn't have any income, any savings, any money. I was like basically
just studying.
With nothing. I was studying full time. I didn't have the money. I remember like they were supporting me in this community, like, hey, like God is going to support you here. And I was like, okay, let's try. I have for paying for 1 month of TIFAS, and I tried. And
because you had like a gift from like an aunt.
I had like a gift for my birthday or something, and I had some money. And I was like, okay, I have for 1 payment of TIFAS.
No job.
No job, but let's see if God provides here, because I really want to do this.
You're being called.
I am called, and if I need to figure something out, I will. And I remember, joining the school, and after like a week, I just started receiving the amount of money every month as a gift. Every month.
Like gifts or random places.
Places. Cool. I started receiving the money. And God was giving me exactly the money for TIFAS. And God was like investing in TIFAS. Because at that moment, I had like a lot of places where I can put my money on. A lot of places, a lot of my friends say, hey, Jose, do this with us, or invest in this, or I was competing too in university. Invest in better material, improve this thing, but that would mean that I wouldn't really honor the money that God gave me in that moment. And it took patience to me. You know, I was like healing and investing everything in myself in that moment.
And not really seeing an immediate return.
Not really saying anything. I was feeling good, the teaching was working in my life.
Right.
But nothing was like shifting in a huge way. My finances weren't growing, no external result yet. And it requires faith. And it requires persistence. If God is guiding you here, do that until God shows you the next step. And in that moment, I couldn't invest in this or invest in that. I was investing only in my healing. But right now, we can invest in all of those things.
Oh yeah,
we want. More. And together, and doing them together, God's way is so much better. And God knows where the investment is going. You don't need to figure that out.
Yeah.
God provides for you. You just need the drive, the motivation, why are you doing this for? And if you really move through it and you move towards your goal, God is going to support you in that. Maybe it requires patience, but God is taking you to a very good place. Trust it and respect it.
Because that 100 euros, it's like 111 for the one class pass, is like now it turned into harmonious union, and it turned into an amazing life purpose, and just like really a very good life. Your independence. It's very beautiful. I like that. Like your story is like a story that's just like there's no reason that you can't. Everyone can do it. Like there's always like God will always provide the resources for you if your desire is to be closer to God. and you desire to serve God. And
God wants that.
yeah.
Yeah, God is going to provide you everything to get close to Him. You just ask Him and follow the steps. It's a very simple process. Yeah, following this teaching, you have all that you need. It's literally applying the teaching. Listen to it, apply it, and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's very practical.
Yeah, it's like choosing to live a life that God is in charge, like surrender your finances to God, surrender your choices to God. Like that's really what you did. Like you could have used that money on anything, but you chose to invest it into yourself, like your spiritual healing, because your spiritual healing is what's eternal.
Yeah, it's the center of your life.
It's
if that is
center.
working properly, everything is going to work fine in your life.
Yeah, like you chose to put your money in the thing that was going to serve you forever, not
Like
just
the
like the
eternal
temporary, like high fun thing, but like the thing that was going to like lay the solid foundation for your eternal life. And that's something that Jeff and Shaleia teach, is like when you're making a decision, you want to make sure it is from a place of eternity. And so that's how you want to look at your wealth, is like you want to lay your foundation and root your foundation on God, eternal.
Yeah, something eternal, not in a high. That you're going to feel good for a while and then you're in the same place.
You want something that helps you move through the feelings you need to move through, because that's all we've done, is we moved through some very uncomfortable feelings at times. We moved through our feelings about poverty. We faced our fears about money, and healed through programming from our families. Like we really spent this past year focusing on that, and it's really paid off for us, and it's no different than healing twin flame separation. Actually, Jeff and Shaleia in the classes say it's easier to become a millionaire than to get into harmonious union, because more people have done it. So yeah, if you can do this work and you can heal twin flame separation, then you can heal wealth, and you can have the life that you desire.
Yep.
Yeah, that's ultimately what it's about. Like you can create your heaven on earth, and only you can do it. Like God will move through you, God will inspire you, He'll give you the guidance, but you have to do it, and you have to live life. You have to go out there and engage in life.
And have fun with it.
And have fun, yeah. And claim it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that feels complete.
Yeah, it's complete. So now we can finish with our closing prayer and the closing arms. Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you.
I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word, and will share your teaching with him in any way you ask, and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Amen. Speaking this prayer in your heart means that you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them, and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator.
Now the closing arms. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back. We hope that you enjoyed this very juicy sermon.
Yeah, we really enjoyed the sermon, and I really love how Jeff and Shaleia, Jose and Michaela talk about abundance and finances, because even though we're on a spiritual path, like, we can't ignore our money, we can't ignore our finances. And so it's relieving to receive more insight on how to improve our relationship with God and our finances, because it is all just one relationship with God that we're having.
Right.
And yeah, like Jeff and Shaleia teach that only you can love God the way that you love God. And it's loving God that fills you up inside. And so when you love God and you share yourself, you're giving value, and you receive that value back, because God will always support you in loving him and doing what fills you up inside.
Yeah, I love that. And just in general, I really love just all of the wisdom, the deep wisdom that they've gained. And I will be rewatching this sermon because it was just so juicy, and
I think it's very inspiring.
Yeah, very inspiring, and there's such deep lessons in there, and such deep like pockets of wisdom about abundance, that it's really something to go deeper with, and to continue to go deeper in that place. And yeah, I just loved it.
What stood out to you the most? Like, which piece of wisdom did you like?
For me, it was the focus of cultivating a deep love for yourself, and cultivating that deep love within, and enjoying deep levels of love within you. And that's what I've been meditating on lately. So it really resonated with me, of building and cultivating that deep well of God within you that already exists, and cultivating a deep love for yourself. And that just overflows in all areas of your life. And, it overflows into my work and into my relationships. And
it's that love for God.
Yep. Yep, and it allows me to love God. Loving myself allows me to love God and to give and to serve. And it increases my abundance. And it's a beautiful relationship. So, yeah.
What especially stood out to me was when Jose Michaela said to give generously of yourself, and how poverty comes from refusing to give or trying to take, and how that's really the same thing. And so I think, especially as a volunteer of the church, you can always go deeper in being generous in what you give and in your service. And so anytime I hit, like a piece of resistance or an upset, it's just a good reminder to give generously of yourself and to give generously to God, because God is very, very generous. So yeah, it was a very juicy sermon, and I feel good. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel really good.
Cool. So we have our after church tea time that you're invited to. It's a discussion group with panel members of the Church of Union, and you can go to the Unionism Spiritual Discussion Group to attend. It's at 1 p.m. EST. And you can also visit unionism.org to watch past card readings, sermons, meditations, all the good stuff. And last but not least, you can also donate and tithe if you desire to. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you have not already. And yeah, we hope you have a beautiful Sunday and rest of your day. And thank you.
Yeah. Have a great day, and namaste.
Namaste.
Bye.